Would you like to know what you got?
You did terrible.
First.
Sure.
Okay. You passed
Oh, yay.
with a distinguished.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean?
You got an A. See the top? That's where you are.
Hey, Olivia!
Okay, so yay, Olivia. We're gonna give you some warm and cool feedback. So we'll go over the things that you did really well, really liked, and things that you could work on for the future. Okay. So I'll start today. As far as cool feedback, I'll start with that first, so we can end on the high note. I thought you went pretty quickly. So you were you had a ton of information, which was awesome. I think a lot of this was nerves, but you were going through those first few sections very fast, which is fine. It's definitely, we can keep up, but it was it was a little bit of work to keep up. So I would just say slow it down, and that'll help you ensure that your audience is following you, especially with a topic that's as big and complex as this one. For your warm feedback, I think that you've done a ton of amazing work here. You did a ton of work on your slideshow. The slideshow that I saw today compared to the one that you started with was really great. It went through so many different rounds of edits. You knew it really well and were confident about it. And it just showed how much effort you were putting in to your work. I thought that some of the slides where you kind of went off script and weren't really reflecting what was exactly on the slide, and you were doing your own personal analysis, like when you talked about the different countries that support Israel or support Palestine. I felt that was really strong, and I think you seemed like you weren't as personally confident, but that came from a place of passion. That was a place that you were really interested in, and I thought you did a good job balancing both sides of the issue. It's a really complex issue. So it seemed, I think sometimes you felt like you seemed a little unbiased, but I thought you did a good job of paying attention to both sides.
Thank you.
Your work was great.
And I ended up actually having speaker notes, but I didn't want to stop my presentation to get them because I realized halfway through.
But it didn't even seem like that. It didn't seem like you were lost or confused. It was so smooth that way.
Thank you.
Yeah, I actually sort of have the same cool feedback, and that's that this is, like Ms. Parker said, a very complex topic, and there's just so much information. And you weren't going so fast that we couldn't keep along, couldn't stay with you, or that we were breathing heavy trying to figure out what was going on. But maybe slowing it down a little bit more would be helpful next time. And then for my warm feedback, I thought your slideshow was very professional looking, and I really liked when you kind of went off script. I'll say you kind of read what was in front of us, or not even always read, but kind of summarize what was in front of us, and then kind of your I don't know, body language would change, and your voice and your tone would change to kind of let us know, okay, now I'm going to give you a little bit more than what's on there. I found that really interesting. I knew when to look at you when you were going to explain a little more of the background, a little more detail, a little more subjective information. And I don't even know if you knew you were doing that, but that was really cool. And I also thought that starting off with the table of contents was nice for us to kind of sit down and see what we're going to be learning a little bit more about during the presentation was helpful. And the maps too, that was really interesting. Because that wasn't part of the paper, so you get to see it. It's a good idea.
Yeah. Those are good edits.
Taking feedback and using it. So you did a great job.
Thank you.
Olivia, for my cool feedback, I'm a big fan, as you know, of the hook at the very beginning of a presentation. And I loved seeing the agenda early and the essential question, but I thought your topic really lent itself to a great hook. It's like writing an essay and just including the thesis statement in the introduction without a lead-in. And I know that could really set the tone. Also, I expected you to do more with the expert's first comment about how, you know, a lot of the conflict was not so much religious in nature, but focused on land. And I could tell that you weren't sure you agreed, but I would have been very interested in finding out why he thought so and how he backed up a statement like that.
I emailed him and like I got in touch with him like really late because like I didn't even think about like an expert because like I didn't know that was like a thing. But when I thought he was gonna say more, but those were literally all he said.
Oh, interesting. I'm sorry there wasn't more of a, you know,
No,
conversation
me
about that,
too.
because
I
that would have
wish-
been interesting to
Like
us.
I would have loved to have like a bigger section of like going back and forth of what I thought versus what he thought. But those were the only things that he mentioned. That was like literally the email.
Well, I'm glad he didn't give you all kinds of great info and you just didn't put it in.
Yeah.
Because that would have been much worse.
Yeah.
All right, on the positive side, this was a very interesting presentation that I learned a lot from. And I enjoyed learning about your research, and your insight have served you very well in the presentation today. Very nice job. And thank you for inviting me.
Your turn. Why?
She agreed with us, and if she has anything else, she's gonna tell you later. All right, so panel, I'll take the warm and cool feedback to give to Olivia. And Olivia, you're almost done. You have one reflection to do. We have some paperwork we need to post on your portfolio page, but we'll do that tomorrow. So what I will do is refill out your rubric, and I will send you like photos of all of it so that it's easy to upload to your portfolio. And we just have to go through this checklist that's at the bottom of your signature sheet, but most of the stuff's already done. Okay? So it's really just the reflection that you have to work on, which you can do tomorrow during part 2. Okay? All right.
Congratulations.
Nice job.
Very exciting.
I'm so happy to see you.
Yeah. It's a relief. Well deserved